Nigerian woman, like her colleagues in other parts of the globe, has proved to be a force to reckon with in terms of contribution to growth and development of the society. She is hard-working, courageous, and a dependable ally. The woman plays the roles of a wife, mother, homemaker, and caregiver, among many others. In most homes, she makes significant financial contributions for the upkeep of the family. In spite of these immense contributions and share population, put at about 46% according to the 2006 population census, women in Nigeria continue to grapple with numerous challenges. She is disadvantaged socially, economically, and politically. Her rights are daily trampled upon with impunity by a patriarchal society. She is subjected to physical and emotional violence. These challenges have conspired to silence the voice of Nigerian women and girls. Their growth is stunted, and the country denied the benefit of the active participation of about half of its population.
Women make up more than 50% of the population, so it's a no-brainer. Why such? And we've been marginalized for so long. It's a no-brainer why such an organization should come into place. To promote the advancement of women in national development and in every aspect of our nation's activities and life.
The National Center for Women Development, NCWD, under the supervision of the Ministry of Women Affairs, was created to remove the impediments and obstacles strewn on the path of women in Nigeria. The founders envisaged an agency which deals with the issues, concerns, and development of women. Since its establishment in 1992 as Mariam Babangida National Center for Women Development, the center has, under different leadership, tried to attain its vision of being a center of excellence for gender equity and sustainable women development.
The National Center for Women Development was the brainchild of the late former First Lady, Dr. Mrs. Mariam Babangida. It was an offshoot of the Better Life for Rural Women dwellers, which has metamorphosed into a very vibrant and very dynamic agency for the empowerment of Nigerian women. And the center has been in existence for about 23 years plus now.
Its mandate is to stimulate consciousness towards the attainment of higher levels of development and activities of Nigerian women through its statutory functions. These include promotion of research into the activities and achievements of women, serving as data bank on women and development in Nigeria, facilitating the formulation of policies affecting women in all sectors and primarily in areas such as employment, health, agriculture, and finance, providing training in skills development and acquisition, income generation activities, and serves as training ground for managers and leaders, providing a forum for guidance, counseling, and mobilization of women in both urban and rural areas, and liaising with national, regional, and international agencies involved in women development programs.
Basically, the center carries out training. You are aware of our vocational skills training, which cut across strategic areas of life. For instance, we have the hospitality and tourism, which some people may refer to as catering. We have the fashion designing, which some people could call sewing. We have the interior and outdoor decoration, which is a very vibrant area of society now. We have the cake making, we have bead making and jewelry. We have the household hygiene products where you make pomade and all those stuff. And in doing that, we do not just train them on this, we also go beyond that and spice all our trainings with issues of self-esteem, civic education, leadership skills, business plan development, also taking them through feasibility for them to be able to know where to source their materials, how to do their profit and loss, and how to actually say, okay, this is our business, we're starting this business, and this is where we need our business to be. So it's a holistic kind of approach that we use in our training program, which is far different from what other people do out there. I'll tell you, without mincing words, I will train over 20,000 women and girls, not only here at the National Center for Women Development, but also at the local level, the rural areas, through the Women Development Centers, through our various collaborative programs. And our programs are very popular and they are in high demand.
The various leaderships of the center have worked to improve its fortune over the years. However, by September of 2013, when Lady ONYEKA was appointed as Director General, the center was not only unable to meet most of its set objectives, but facilities were at various stages of disrepair.
This organization was set up in 1992, and I believe that since then not much progress has really been made in terms of actualizing the very reason for which it was set up. It stands on a tripod: advocacy, empowerment, training, and research. And in these areas, people had begun to forget that there was such a thing as the National Center for Women Development. The infrastructure, the physical infrastructure that we have here, was set up in such a way that women would have a rallying point, a physical rallying point, as well as an organizational rallying point. We have a guest house, we have a multipurpose hall, we have a hostel, we have a creche, we have a training area and a shopping center. And yet Nigerian women were beginning to forget that the center actually existed. A lot of research work that had been started had been abandoned. The facilities had fallen into disrepair.
Unarguably, a woman of many parts, the stallion, as she is fondly referred to by her army of fans, was however undeterred. She instead tapped into her wealth of experience to tackle headlong the many problems of the center. Poor funding is a prominent challenge.
You had a situation where for a 10-month period, if you got 2 months overhead, which was very small, our overhead, I don't even want to mention it. If you got it 2 months out of 10 months, you were very lucky. That was what we had to face. But then I said to my crew, we have to do the proverbial thinking outside the box if we wanted to get anything done. And that's precisely what we have done in reaching out to other agencies, reaching out to individuals who were doing things for us free of charge because they so believed in the vision and our commitment to get things done. And that was how we began to claw our way back to recognition, to relevance. So many other areas, we made sure that the fiscal management of the center was such that we could account for every kobo that came in.
The ability to generate its own money was also hindered by the sorry state of its 65-room guest house situated on the premises of the center.
The guest house in particular was an eyesore. When, I noticed that when you come here in the evening, you see a whole lot of people hanging around and some wonderful, beautiful, expensive cars moving around. But to use the guest house and the hostel was more like a brothel. And I found it very disturbing that the Women's Center should be put to such use. Because the environment was that bad and the facilities were in disrepair, you could not really attract top naira for accommodation. And the beautiful thing about the center is location, location, location. So we started immediately to tidy up the environment, clean it up, stop the loitering, stop people coming here for various activities that were not in consonance with why we were set up. And at some point, because the guest house was so bad, Water was seeping into the walls, and if nothing was done, the building would have come down after a short time. We had to close it up. And then we started renovating bit by bit. It was arduous. It was painful. It meant money was not coming in, and whatever little was coming in, we were using to make sure that the place was at a reasonable level and that it was habitable. We have been successful in doing that. The center, the guest house is open for business. The hostel, we've also succeeded in repairing to some extent, not as much as we would like. Even the multipurpose hall, the chiller was not working. What you would see on TV when people are using our hall are people fanning themselves. We had to attend to that. These were long-standing contracts that were awarded, but nothing was moving forward.
Repositioning the National Center for Women Development to tackle issues and concerns of women requires that staff are motivated. They needed to come to terms with the enormity of the problem and devise creative means of surmounting them.
The majority of the staff at the center are working with one mind and a huge commitment to get things done. And that's the beauty of what we've been able to achieve. So that coming to work becomes a pleasure. And it's not one person as the DG or one director sitting somewhere and coming up with ideas. It's everybody, including the cleaners, who would look at a situation and come up with a solution to it that would not cost us additional money. Everybody understood what the situation financially was.
The leadership of the center has, through courage and innovation, worked to give it a new lease of life. It has since regained its voice. The Nigerian woman and girl child can now be heard. The center has trained over 20,000 women in various life-changing vocations through well-thought-out initiatives. Worthy of note is the lofty ideal of promoting digital inclusion among women and girls. The No Woman Left Out program, as it is called, is leveraging on the relevance of information and communication technology, ICT, in everyday life.
The ICT department developed and created a program in the year 2012 known as No Woman Left Out program, where we want to promote the digital inclusion among disadvantaged women and girls by providing them basic ICT and entrepreneurship skills. Since its inception in 2012, about 450 women have benefited from the program. And it was like a train the trainers program. So the participants demonstrated high skill in ICT. And as of now, some of them have also initiated programs to train other women in their areas. And they are available, and we can give you their contacts to contact them. Apart from the basic ICT programs we give to people like you and I who are fortunate to be sighted, we also train the visually impaired persons. And you'll be surprised that this group of people are really highly intelligent. We train them on the same keyboard that we use, not the Braille keyboard. We use the same keyboard that you and I will use.
I can get some of them.
To train them, yes. And I'll give you names and where they are right now. In fact, we have success stories on them. One is our trainer here. She's a woman, Scholastica Kalama. She has trained about 84 visually impaired persons. Among them, about 7 of them are lawyers and they work with the Federal Ministry of Justice.
The United Nations and its agencies have set aside specific days to commemorate and draw attention to the plight of women and the girl child. While these days are acknowledged in Nigeria, they are marked quietly. The desired impact is thus lost due to the absence of programs that will drive an effective advocacy. Hence, the introduction of the Summit on Women and Girls as part of activities marking the International Day of the Girl Child. The objectives of the summit include to draw attention of policymakers to the challenges of the girl child and to further create a platform for high discourse on current issues affecting adolescent girls and women of reproductive age, create avenue for economic empowerment for marginalized women and girls by catalyzing new partnerships for family planning and reproductive health, education, and gender equality projects, provide a platform to reinforce government commitment to women and girls, formulate and propose new gender-focused programs to establish high-impact projects on family planning, reproductive health, maternal health, girl-child education, and economic empowerment. The second edition of the summit, with the theme Empowerment and Training, Innovating for Girl-Child Education, held at the NCWD Auditorium, Abuja. Like most conflicts around the world, the Boko Haram insurgency has taken a great toll on women and children. Hundreds of thousands of them are in internally displaced persons camps in the northeast and elsewhere within and outside Nigeria. To alleviate their plight and give them opportunity for another shot at life, the Center, in collaboration with UNHCR, reached out to them. First, the Center spearheaded visits in partnership with National Emergency Management Agency NEMA and other stakeholders to show solidarity and care at the camps.
As part of the mandate of this center also, the issues of victims of violence of any sort are mostly women and children. The problem with the insurgency is a particularly painful and challenging one for everyone, from government to victims to everyone. So when people are compelled by these circumstances to leave their homes and to have come as far as even Abuja here, apart from those that are within the areas of the conflict in the northeast, like Borno, Yobe, Gombe, Bauchi, areas like that. The IDPCM, the center went into collaboration. It carried the advocacy first to NEMA to see on ground, because we know that women and children are the victim, the true victims of this problem. So the Director General and some team, in collaboration with NEMA and with the UNHCR, visited the Yola IDP camp to see things for ourselves, because we've been planning to have a kind of platform under which women can be assisted, female displaced persons. We have worked on this since 2014. What then was the plan was to have a benefit concert, that is, arrange, organize, and plan an activity where funds could be raised, and then awareness could also be raised amongst all Nigerians that this is a problem that affects everyone. It's not just common or peculiar to the people in the area. It should affect everyone, and there's a need for everyone to make whatever contributions he can. But it couldn't be held at that time. Then, as God will have it, in last year, from what has transpired between the National Center for Women Development and the UNHCR, a visit was arranged by NEMA, and as collaborating partners, the idea to train female IDPs was conceived from those meetings and the inspection.
A practical demonstration of support and care are infused in a song written and produced by the Director General, Lady ONYEKA. One of Nigeria's foremost artists, she has carved a niche for herself in the Nigerian music industry with her unique kind of development music. The song, titled Not Alone, is a fulfillment of the pledge Lady ONWENU made to stakeholders in June of 2015 to appeal for support and care for the IDPs.
Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me, pray with me. I can't do this on my own. Walk with me, talk with me. Don't you leave me all alone. Stand by me and pray with me. I can't do this on my own.
Not Alone is a song that continues to touch and soften the hearts of many individuals, groups and organizations to move towards lending a helping hand to suffering women and children in camps. Another initiative of the center that is close to the heart of the Director General is a special program to properly rehabilitate the internally displaced women.
In all, the program tagged Residential Economic Empowerment Training Program for the internally displaced women is to train 360 women in 4 batches.
The program provides psychosocial support, vocational and business skills training. The aim is to restore the dignity and ensure diversification of means of livelihood of displaced women and girls in the various camps. The first batch of 50 women have successfully undergone the training at the center in Abuja. At the end of it, the recipients are as optimistic as stakeholders that it is indeed a life-changing event.
It was a wonderful experience for everyone, including us, to see that lives could be changed when there is a constructive program. Not too expensive, but one that is done by people who care. And one of the things that mattered to the IDPs is that they were in a loving environment. They knew that they were loved, and they were eager to learn and to grasp and to take away something. When they were leaving, they were equipped, they were well equipped, and they were empowered. We will soon be able to give a report of the monitoring exercise we are starting to make sure that they are running their businesses, that do they have any more challenges where we can step in and still be of help to them. We're not just letting go. Friendships were formed, loving relationships were formed. Even our staff, everybody got involved. By the way, they brought their children. We had 50 women and 22 children. Some of those children would have died if not for the intervention of this training, because many of them were rushed to hospital with measles, all kinds of medical situations, which were quickly and very well taken care of at a cost to the center. We had a doctor, we had a nurse on ground. So to have that kind of training, we were here working until the last minute. There was no holiday for us here, but it was worth every minute of it, because these were 50 lives changed, 50 families resuscitated, 50 women who will now go on to affect other women.
I'm training how to sew clothes. That is tailor. I was sewing different designs like buba, and all the fashions like sewing of skirt and blouse, all the rest. We thank God for the training, truly. They take care of us with our little children. They feed us very well and help us for our future living. We thank them well.
I can bake, I can cook very well, I can cook wedding food, birthday food. In fact, any occasion food, I can do it. And I can do samosa, yogurt, and meat pie, chicken pie, so many things.
Central to the activities of the center is research and documentation. Many of such research is carried out have formed the basis for policy document in matters and issues of women and girls. In particular, the center has carried out extensive research work on widowhood practices, women and peace, violence against women, and women and environment. Other areas are women and credit, women entrepreneurship in Nigeria, and women's human rights, to mention a few.
Right now, we are working on two major research areas. We will be collecting data on search disaggregated data on women involvement and participation in politics from 1999 to date. So we've started work on that already. And then also we're updating these maternal health indicators in Nigeria. The last time any work was done by the Federal Ministry for Women Affairs in 2007. And since then, not much has been done. So right now we're working on updating the indicators, the maternal health indicators. So we've been trying to achieve our objectives and meet the targets for which the government has in place of the center.
The project is in collaboration with the Bureau of Statistics, Independent Electoral Commission (INEC), the Ministry of Women Affairs, UN Women, and Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF. The center has vowed to keep working on providing data that would help individuals and organizations in making the right gender policies.
Women are longing to be free, no longer in the shadows, forced to stay behind, but side by side in true equality. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace.
A worthy legacy for the Nigerian women and young girls, including historians, is the center's Nigerian Women Hall of Fame.
This is a hall that has been specially established to honor women who have made contributions, who have recorded achievements, and as a place where younger people, young women and girls will be inspired to also aim to achieve and attain the best in life. So we have that hall, and in that same hall we host the pictures, memorabilia, and then we also especially have portraits of all former Nigerian leaders' wives, first ladies or wife of president, as the case may be, from the First Republic to now. We have that in the Hall of Fame, and we also have women who have specifically attained positions by their sheer hard work and determination.
It holds the story of struggles and accomplishments of women who have written their names in gold. As the center remains a reference point in training and skills acquisition, it plans to break new frontier in preparing the women folk to play a more central role in the nation's economy.
Now,
this will provide equitable opportunity for the women to improve their economic basis while contributing to nation building. Advocacy, the center believes, holds the key to breaking down the walls that stand in the way of women development in Nigeria.
As you educate more women, we have also found, you educate them about their rights. They are in a better position to insist on their rights being respected. So that's part of it. You know, it's in all its ramifications, is that the woman must know what her rights are, that it is not acceptable. Society says it's not acceptable. The Umuada in Igbo land who get together and they themselves form the groups that perpetrate this violence against and evil practices against widows must be told that it is not acceptable. Those of us who are barred from inheriting property from our fathers because we're female must stand up and say, I am protected by the Supreme Court. I am entitled to inherit property from my parents, to inherit land, inherit whatever. It's people like you and I, like you, standing up and setting an example.
To further boost its advocacy, the National Center for Women Development launched The Empowered Women, a magazine that serves as a reference material for all stakeholders. The NCWD, under the proactive leadership of Lady ONYEKA, has put forward new activities to promote private sector support as well as continued assistance of international stakeholders. In all, the future of the Nigerian woman and girl shines bright as the center continues to champion the cause of equity in all spheres of life.